Speaker. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much for moving this very important bill through our Financial Services Committee and onto the House floor. And I also, Mr. Speaker, want to applaud my colleagues who've done so much work on this in our Terrorism Financing Task Force, on which I belong. Democrat Steve Lynch from Massachusetts and Republican Mike Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania. Mr. Speaker, the Iranian government is a chief state sponsor of terrorism and instability throughout the world. And for many years, the senior political leaders and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard have trained, armed, and funded terrorist organizations. More recently, they've become experts at using the internet and social media to recruit and teach other radical Islamic terrorists around the globe. The Iranian government, Mr. Speaker, has American blood on its hands. Now, the primary responsibility for every member of Congress, Republicans and Democrats, is to support and defend our Constitution. And that means keeping our families safe and keeping them free. National security, Mr. Speaker, is not and should never be a political issue. Today, about 70 to 80 top political and military leaders in Iran control approximately 1/3 of their economy. They use their power and their influence to corrupt the telecommunications, construction, and other important industries in the economy. Now, an investigation by Reuters found that the supreme leader alone has accumulated a tremendous amount of personal wealth through a foundation claiming to help the poor. Now, while this corruption has grown, the average Iranian citizen earns the equivalent of about $15,000 per year. Mr. Speaker, the people of Iran and the citizens of this world deserve to know how much the chief sponsors of terrorism in Iran have accumulated and what the money is being used for. And businesses around the world that are looking to possibly invest in Iran should know before their investment who and what they're dealing with. Mr. Chairman, my bill, 5461, the Iranian Leadership Transparency Act, is a straightforward, Maine common sense bill. It simply requires the United States Treasury Department to collect, maintain, and post online the list of 70 to 80 senior political and military leaders in Iran, their personal assets, how that money was acquired, and what it is being used for. My bill further requires the Treasury Department to post on its website this information in English as well as the three main languages spoken in Iran: Farsi, Arabic, and Azeri. The information must be able to be downloaded and shared easily by everyone. Mr. Speaker, sunshine is the best disinfectant. Let's use transparency of one click of a computer from any of this globe to expose what a chief sponsor of terrorism in this world is doing with its money. Americans are alarmed and frightened about the increased terror attacks here at home and in peace-loving nations around the world. Secrecy and corruption in Iran breed more terrorism. So let's shed light on this destructive behavior and put pressure on the Iranian leaders to change their ways. Mr. Speaker, I ask all of my colleagues here in the House, Republicans and Democrats, to stand with me and to stand with our fellow Americans and to stand with freedom-loving people throughout the world against terrorism. I ask you, please, everyone, to vote yes for H.R. 5461, the Iranian Leadership Transparency Act. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. I yield back my time.
Gentleman.